Success. Everyone wants it. Everyone dreams of it. But here's the cold, unshakable truth. Success does not knock on your door and politely ask to come inside. It doesn't slide into your life while you're lying on the couch. Success isn't Santa Claus, bringing gifts because you wished for them. Success is a prize, and it only reveals itself to the people who work, sweat, grind, and refuse to quit. Think about this. How many people do you know who say, "One day, I'll be successful"? They say it casually, almost like success is just waiting around the corner, like it's guaranteed. But where are they now? Still talking, still waiting, still dreaming. Because here's the reality. You cannot wait for success. You must go to war for it. You must put yourself in the arena, take the punches, and keep moving forward even when your body screams to stop. Imagine you're 25 years old, broke, living in a small apartment. The rent is overdue, the fridge is empty, and you've got nothing but a notebook full of dreams. You tell yourself, one day, things will change. But every day looks the same. The bills keep coming. The struggles keep piling up. Now ask yourself, will success suddenly show up in that apartment, like a miracle? Of course not. The only way out is through the work. Through waking up early, through sacrifices, through grinding when everyone else is asleep. And here's the hardest part. No one claps for you in the beginning. No one notices your effort. No one sees the nights you stayed up late studying, the mornings you woke up tired but kept going anyway. In the beginning, you're invisible. And that's where most people quit, because they confuse being unnoticed with being unworthy. But those who persist, those who grind in the shadows, those who don't need applause, those are the ones success eventually chases. Life will test you, not once, but over and over. It will throw rejection letters, failed attempts, unpaid bills, and endless doubt into your path. And every single test asks the same question: how badly do you want it? If your answer is weak, success moves on. But if your answer is action, relentless, disciplined, unstoppable action, then slowly, brick by brick, you build the foundation of your victory. Take someone like Sarah. She grew up in a small town with no connections, no money, and no backup plan. Her dream was to open her own design studio. But instead of waiting for luck, she worked 3 jobs. She saved every dollar. She studied at night, practiced on weekends, and kept showing up, even when she had every reason to quit. Years later, her business took off. Clients came pouring in. People looked at her success and said, "Wow, she's lucky." But luck had nothing to do with it. What they didn't see was the mountain of effort, the endless hours, the relentless work behind the scenes. Sarah didn't wait for success to find her. She went out and dragged it into her life with her bare hands. Don't wait for opportunity. Create it. Dreams don't work unless you do. Discipline will beat talent every single time when talent refuses to work hard. Success won't come to you because it doesn't reward wishes, it rewards action. And action requires sacrifice. In the next part, we'll go deeper into the price of success, the sacrifices you must be willing to make, and why most people fail before they even start. Success demands a price, and the truth is, most people are not willing to pay it. Everyone wants the reward, but few are willing to suffer for it. That's why so many dreams die before they ever leave the ground. Success asks you to give up comfort. It asks you to trade weekends for work, sleep for discipline, and short-term pleasure for long-term greatness. If you can't sacrifice, you can't succeed. It's that simple. Think about how many times you've set a goal, felt excited for a week, then gave up the moment it became hard. That's the moment that separates dreamers from doers. The dreamers talk about what they want. The doers push through when it hurts. Pain is not a sign you're failing. It's a sign you're building. Growth never feels comfortable. If it feels easy, you're not growing. You're just staying where you are. Picture a man working 2 jobs, exhausted, eyes heavy, body aching. Every night, he opens his laptop at midnight to build the business he believes in. People laugh at him. Friends tell him he's wasting his time. Family tells him to settle for something safe. But he ignores the noise because he knows that success won't come to him while he's waiting for approval. It will only come if he chases it relentlessly, even when the world tells him to stop. This is the price of success: lonely nights, endless grind, sacrifice that no one else understands. You miss parties, you miss sleep, you miss comfort, but you don't miss opportunities, because opportunities are born from the sacrifices most people refuse to make. Everyone wants to shine in the spotlight, but they run from the shadows where real work happens. Success belongs to the few who embrace the shadows and trust that one day the light will find them. You can't cheat the grind. You can't fast forward the process. You can't wish your way into greatness. Every drop of sweat, every tear, every ounce of effort is part of the currency you pay. People will envy your success, but never understand your struggle. They'll see the finished product, but never the blueprint. They'll applaud the destination, but never recognize the journey. And that's okay, because the journey was never meant to be celebrated by others. It was meant to transform you. Think about Thomas Edison. Thousands of failed attempts before he created the light bulb. Thousands. Imagine if he quit after 10, or 100, or even 500. The world would be darker because he wasn't willing to pay the price. His failures weren't wasted, they were investments. Every failure taught him something that led him closer to success. That's what paying the price looks like. Failure after failure until failure itself becomes your teacher, not your enemy. Sacrifice today so you can live differently tomorrow. That's not just a quote. It's a truth carved into the life of every successful person. Sacrifice sleep, sacrifice comfort, sacrifice excuses, and you will build something that ordinary people can't even imagine. The question isn't whether you can succeed. The question is whether you're willing to give up what's holding you back in order to reach it. And here's the secret most people don't want to face. Success isn't hard because of the work. It's hard because of the consistency. Anybody can work hard for a day. Anybody can push for a week. But can you stay disciplined for months? Can you sacrifice for years? Can you walk through the fire long enough for it to shape you into something stronger? That's the real test. And most people fail not because they lack talent, but because they lack patience. If you want success, you must stop asking, how long will it take? And start saying, as long as it takes. Because once you accept that, the sacrifices stop feeling like punishment and start feeling like the price of admission to the life you want. Success won't come to you. It never has, it never will. But if you are willing to sacrifice, if you are willing to stay consistent when others give up, you will build a life so powerful that people will look at you and say, how did you do it? And your answer will be simple, I worked for it. The next part will dive into the power of discipline and consistency, and how mastering those two things separates the successful from the forgotten. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Without it, every dream collapses under the weight of excuses. People love motivation because it feels good, but motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes like the weather. Discipline is different. Discipline doesn't care if you're tired. It doesn't care if you're not in the mood. Discipline shows up every single day, no matter how you feel. That's why success belongs to the disciplined, not the motivated. Think about mornings when your alarm goes off and every part of you wants to hit snooze. Motivation won't save you then. It will whisper, stay in bed. But discipline will pull the blanket off and say, get up. The work won't do itself. Motivation fades in the face of struggle, but discipline thrives on it. And the people who succeed are not the ones who wait for the perfect moment. They are the ones who train themselves to act, even when the moment feels wrong. Consistency is discipline in motion. It's the act of showing up again and again, stacking small efforts that compound into something unstoppable. You may not see results in a week or even in a month, but that doesn't mean you're failing. Seeds don't sprout the day you plant them. You water them, you protect them, and you trust the process. Success works the same way. Every day you stay consistent, you're watering the seed. Most people stop before the roots are even strong enough to grow. They give up because they don't see progress, not realizing that progress was happening underground, hidden from sight. Take the story of Michael, a runner who dreamed of qualifying for the Olympics. He wasn't the fastest at first, not even close. In fact, he lost more races than he won. But every morning, rain or shine, he ran. While others slept, he ran. While others partied, he ran. For years, no one noticed his effort. But he kept stacking the miles, kept building his body, kept sharpening his mind. When the trials came, he qualified. Reporters called him an overnight success. They didn't see the decade of discipline. They didn't see the lonely roads. They didn't see the mornings where he ran with blisters, injuries, and doubt. That's the power of discipline and consistency. It makes the impossible inevitable. Everyone wants fast results, but the truth is, shortcuts don't last. A shortcut may give you a glimpse of success, but it won't sustain it. Discipline builds character, and character sustains success. That's why people who win the lottery often lose everything. They gain success without building the discipline to maintain it. The same applies to anyone who skips the process. The grind isn't just about reaching the goal. It's about becoming the kind of person who can handle it once it arrives. Discipline is freedom disguised as sacrifice. Freedom to live life on your terms. Freedom to create opportunities instead of waiting for them. Freedom to know that no matter what happens, you can rely on yourself. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you're proving to yourself that you are stronger than your excuses. That self-trust is the most powerful fuel for success. There will be days when you question everything. Days when you think, why am I even doing this? Nothing is changing. Those are the days that matter most, because they test your commitment. If you can keep going when you see no progress, that's when success starts to move toward you. Consistency is boring to outsiders, but it's magic to the disciplined. It's the invisible force that turns ordinary people into legends. Discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most. That choice repeats itself every day. Do you want comfort now or success later? Do you want excuses now or victory later? Every small decision shapes the outcome of your life. And when you string together enough disciplined choices, you create momentum that nothing can stop. Success won't come to you. It will only reveal itself to those who are consistent enough to earn it. The world doesn't reward bursts of effort. It rewards relentless, steady progress. And when you master discipline and consistency, you become unstoppable. In the next part, we'll explore the role of failure, not as something to fear, but as the teacher that shapes your journey and prepares you for the success you're working toward. Failure. The word alone scares most people into silence. But here's the truth. Failure isn't the enemy of success. It's the classroom of success. Every setback, every mistake, every rejection is a lesson wrapped in disguise. If you want success, you must stop running from failure and start embracing it. Because failure is not the end of your story. It's the raw material you use to build it. Most people quit because they see failure as proof that they're not good enough. They think, I tried and it didn't work, so maybe this isn't for me. But the ones who succeed see failure differently. They say, I tried and it didn't work, so now I know one more way that doesn't lead to success. That shift in perspective is everything. It's not failure that destroys dreams. It's quitting after failure that does. Think about some of the greatest stories of success. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper because they said he lacked imagination. Can you believe that? The man who created Mickey Mouse and built an empire was told he wasn't creative enough. Oprah Winfrey was told she wasn't fit for television. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Every one of them faced failure that could have ended their journey. But instead, they treated failure as feedback. They used rejection as fuel. And because they did, the world remembers their names. Failure is like a mirror. It shows you who you are when things don't go your way. Anyone can smile when they're winning, but who are you when you're losing? That's the moment that defines you. Do you crumble or do you rise? Do you walk away or do you say, watch me come back stronger? That decision determines whether failure is a dead end or a detour. Picture this. A young entrepreneur launches a business. She invests everything she has, pours her heart into it. But the first year is a disaster. Customers don't show up. The bills keep piling. Most people would walk away. But she studies what went wrong. She adjusts. She learns. Year 2, she improves. Year 3, she finally breaks through. People see her success and think she was lucky, but they never saw the storm she survived. Her success was born from the ashes of her failure. Failure has a strange gift. It humbles you. It sharpens you. It strips away the illusions of overnight success and forces you to earn it the hard way. Without failure, there is no resilience. Without failure, there is no growth. Without failure, success loses its meaning. Because what makes success sweet is knowing what it cost you to get there, knowing the nights of doubt you conquered, the tears you turned into determination, the failures you refused to let define you. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of success. That's the truth the world doesn't tell you. The failures you're experiencing now are not signs to quit. They are shaping you into the person who will be ready when success finally arrives. The people who wait for success to come to them avoid failure at all costs, and because of that, they avoid growth. But the people who chase success run straight into failure, knowing that every wound, every scar, every rejection is a lesson that prepares them for the victory ahead. You will fail. That's guaranteed. But the real question is, will you rise? Will you let failure harden you into someone unstoppable, or will you let it break you? The choice is yours. Success won't come to you. It won't arrive without scars, without mistakes, without failures. But if you embrace failure as your teacher instead of your enemy, you will build a strength that no one can take from you. And in the final part, we'll tie it all together. The hard work, the sacrifice, the discipline, the failures, and arrive at the call to action that will push you to go out and chase the life you've been dreaming of. Success won't come to you. It never has, and it never will. It doesn't care about your wishes, your excuses, or your comfort. It only responds to work, to sacrifice, to discipline, and to the courage to fail forward until you get it right. Every story of greatness you admire was written in sweat, in sleepless nights, in unseen effort that no one clapped for. The applause comes later. The spotlight comes later. But the work, that happens now. Think about your own life for a moment. How many times have you told yourself someday I'll start that business. Someday I'll chase that dream. Someday I'll get serious about my health, my finances, my future. But here's the truth, someday is a lie. It's a trick your mind plays to make you feel safe. There is no someday. There is only today. And if you don't move today, tomorrow will look exactly the same. The people you admire, the ones you call successful, are not different from you. They didn't have some magical door open just for them. They weren't handed everything on a silver platter. They made a decision. They decided that excuses would no longer control their lives. They decided that comfort was the enemy. They decided to chase success instead of waiting for it. And when the world told them no, they created their own yes. You can do the same. You have the same hours in a day, the same opportunity to work, the same choice to discipline yourself and chase what you want. The difference between you and the person you look up to is simple. They worked for it when you were waiting for it. And that gap is something you can close starting right now. Stop waiting for motivation to show up. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop waiting for someone to believe in you. If you want success, you must be willing to believe in yourself before anyone else does. You must be willing to put in the hours when no one is watching. You must be willing to look failure in the eye and say, "You will not stop me." Because in the end, success doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who work. It comes to those who push through the tired mornings, the painful setbacks, the endless rejections. It comes to those who are willing to bleed for a dream, even when no one else sees the vision. So here is the call to action. Decide today. Decide that you will not waste another day waiting for success to knock on your door. Decide that you will be relentless, disciplined, consistent. Decide that you will trade comfort for growth, failure for lessons, and excuses for action. Decide that you will work for it, no matter how long it takes, no matter how hard it gets. And when you make that decision and back it up with action, something incredible happens. Success begins to move toward you, slowly at first, then faster, until one day, the world calls you an overnight success. But you'll know the truth. You'll know it took years of work, sacrifice, discipline, and resilience. And you'll smile, because you earned it. Success won't come to you. Work for it. The life you want, the future you dream of, it's waiting. Now it's your move.